So it has been reported that the Lakers are closing in on acquiring Russell Westbrook from the Washington Wizards in exchange for Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and the Lakers potentially sending their 2021 first-round pick to the Wizards for the Wizards' second-round pick. It's a very interesting trade that leaves the current Lakers team somewhat depleted, so let's go over 5 free agents the Lakers should sign after the Russell Westbrook trade is completed. And very quickly before we get into it, if you want to see more interesting NBA content just like this, be sure to drop and subscribe, as I really appreciate all your guys' support. So the first player I have on this list is someone a lot of fans may not know, and that is Eddie Tavares. I've already talked about him in a video before, and I'm still pushing for the signing. LeBron's former Cavs teammate Tavares is a 7'3" center with a 7'9" wingspan, and he's actually quite mobile for a player his size. Compared to guys like Boban, Tavares is much lighter on his feet, which gives him more mobility in contesting shots and not having as much trouble guarding out at the perimeter. He's also shown the ability to get chase down blocks in transition, move his feet well and help defense and protect the paint, and of course his crazy length has allowed him to get easy blocks, as he was one of the best rim protectors in the EuroLeague. His defense and rim protection would be arguably the biggest asset he would bring to the table for LA, and if you can just imagine a front court of AD and Tavares during certain matchups, it would be absolutely disgusting. Front court lineups of AD and Eddie Tavares would make guys like AD and McGee, AD Howard, AD and Drummond look very small in comparison, and I really want to see this lineup happen. Also, Tavares has shown much more polish with Real Madrid over the past few seasons, and this past year, he's averaged 11.5 points, 8 boards, and 1.8 blocks, shooting 66% from the field. Stats are always somewhat deflated in the EuroLeague compared to the NBA, and those numbers are actually very impressive in this league, even though they may not pop out the page at first. But on offense, his main play is getting an easy dunk, as he's just so much bigger than his competition, and he also has a pretty quick jump for a guy his size that allows him to get his shot off quickly, and also gives him the ability to get putbacks pretty easily too, which should lead to a ton of offensive rebounds. He would be a great pick and roll partner with LeBron and Westbrook, as he sets good screens and is very mobile, as I said before, in moving towards the rim. There would be, however, a problem with spacing next to Westbrook, and if the Lakers try these two out and it doesn't work, Tavares could just be utilized more as a situational center like Boban is, and only see minutes in certain matchups. But going back to his offense though, he has developed a pretty nice hook shot that allows him to get an easy bucket on mismatches in the post, and this provides at least a little more versatility in his offensive game. If the Lakers can just give him a tryout 1-year non-guaranteed minimum contract, it would be a low-risk move that could potentially pay off big dividends. Moving on, I have Ken Bazemore of the Golden State Warriors. He's a solid wing who is a versatile defender, and he was pretty good as a bench player for Golden State last season. He shot 40.8% from 3 and was comfortable guarding opposing teams' top wing defenders at times, and I think he would be the perfect cheap replacement for KCP. Laker OGs remember when Bazemore was on the Lakers in the 2013-14 season, and in that year, he averaged over 13 points per game, albeit in a bigger role and in a much smaller sample size. But I would be excited to see if he can get a chance to return, but this time for a championship level team. Getting him on something like a 2-year, $6 million contract would be awesome, but I'm not sure if he'll probably demand more than that given his terrific 3-point shooting last season and also his defensive and positional versatility as well. Moving on, I have Nerlens Noel, who just played for the New York Knicks. He's an athletic, shot-blocking big who has been an excellent rim protector over his career and especially over the past few seasons. In my opinion, he's kind of gone under the radar over the past few years, but he's been really good as the Knicks starting or backup big when Robinson was healthy, averaging 2.2 blocks in only 24.2 minutes per game, or an absolutely crazy 3.3 blocks per 36 minutes. He is an elite shot blocker and one of the best in the league, and he will provide an absolutely disgusting defensive front court when playing with Davis. So if you thought McGee and Howard next to AD gave the Lakers great rim protection, or even Marc Gasol, get ready for Noel, who would turn it up to a whole new level next to AD, and don't get me started on how much of an upgrade he would be over Andre Drummond. He's also averaging 1.6 steals per 36 minutes this past season as well, so he's also very versatile in getting strips with his terrific timing for a big, in playing the passing lanes and knocking the ball away from opposing bigs. It would be hard to find a better defensive front court in my opinion in the NBA besides Noel and Davis, and this will help boost LA's rim protection even more. Or the Lakers can opt to play him as the backup center, and him and Davis would give LA 48 minutes of elite rim protection, which is not something many other teams can say they can do. On offense, Noel doesn't provide the same floor spacing as someone like Marc Gasol, but he's a rim runner who sets solid screens in the pick and roll. He would be a great target for alley-oops from Westbrook and LeBron, and he will provide some efficient scoring at the rim. Also, in transition, he would be excellent, and I could see him capitalizing on these buckets as one of the main sources of his points. That would be his main role on offense, and if he can do just that, it's all the Lakers would really need out of him here as long as he continues to play his terrific defense. The problem we run into here would be how much the Lakers can get him at, as he just had a very good season with the Knicks and may command a decent salary. But if the Lakers can get him on something like a 2-year, $10 million deal, I think it would be a solid move for LA. Moving on, I have Paddy Mills, who last played for the San Antonio Spurs. I've been pushing for Mills to join the Lakers for a while now, and I think he would be an amazing fit in LA. He's a career 38.8% 3-point shooter, and he would be a spark plug 6-man who would bring tremendous shooting and solid playmaking as the backup point guard. The Lakers struggled last season with bench offense as they didn't have any true good offensive guard options to run the show when LeBron and Schroeder were out, and they could change that by signing Paddy Mills. He's a terrific leader that can control the pace of the game, and while he's more of a scorer than a distributor, that's fine as long as he can keep the offense steady and afloat when LeBron and Westbrook are out. But in this case, the Lakers could just stagger LeBron and Westbrook's minutes, and Mills will be a great fit alongside either of them, providing spacing and secondary playmaking when off the ball. If the Lakers can sign Mills to a 2-year, $8 million contract, that would be a steal, but again, like Bazemore, it may not be easy to get him cheap unless he's trying to sign on for a ring. And for the final player on this list, I have Wayne Ellington. So another former Laker, I think Ellington would be a huge addition for the Lakers as a bench shooter. Known as the man with the golden arm, Ellington has been a knockdown 3-point shooter for his entire career, and he shot a blistering hot 42.2% from downtown last season with the Pistons. And you gotta keep in mind, this was on a bad Pistons team where Ellington didn't have anyone to distribute for him, so he was taking a lot of tough threes and was just draining them. So imagine him getting easy looks off of LeBron and Westbrook kickouts. That's going to be money, and I would not be surprised at all if he challenges for the top 3-point percentage next season when playing next to LeBron and Westbrook. We'll see what happens, but I think there's a chance the Lakers can try to pull Ellington on a minimum contract if he's willing to take a pay cut to chase a ring. So that's a wrap. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on my newest video will be coming out. Also, be sure to follow me on IG and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball or business. Just drop a comment down below my photo or DM me and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there. So drop a comment down below on your thoughts, and hopefully I will see you guys soon for our next video. Peace.